Hey, what's going on, guys? We are here at Gamescom again, and we're talking with the developer here, Alexander from Poppermost Studios, the studio behind the upcoming Snow MMO, or it's somewhat of an MMO, I guess you could say. It's a snowboarding / snow skiing game that you guys have been developing out of Sweden, correct?
That is correct. It's a free-to-play, open-world winter sports game.
Yeah, it's a little bit hard to sort of make an acronym out of a little bit there. Can you tell us a little bit about it? For those of you who aren't familiar with the genre or aren't familiar with the game, what exactly is Snow?
Yeah, so Snow is the first authentic winter sports experience. We've all grown up with games like 1080 and SSX, and then games like Skate and Tony Hawk on the skateboarding side, and we thought no one's ever really done justice to winter sports experience. So we set out to do that, which was, open world, authentic gameplay with a huge tie-in with the actual brands, athletes, and trendsetters in the industry.
All right. Now the game, as we can see behind us, is actually very beautiful. It's set on the CryEngine 3 engine, and it's been in development for a couple years now, I believe. The game started out as a single-player experience as you began the development, and it's been branching out into the multiplayer aspect. I recently know that it went on to Steam Early Access as well. Can you tell us a little bit about the development process?
Sure. So we started as a three-man team, myself, my technical director Philip, and my artistic director Marcus, and we started building this 2 years ago, and our goal was to get something playable which was open world and had an authentic feeling to it. From there we launched on Early Access, and from the success of Early Access we're able to scale up the team. So now we're 9 people working on the game, which makes it a lot easier to develop an experience like this. Our goal is to still bring an open world experience to players, give them single player, give them multiplayer, and give them lots to do and more of a sandbox experience.
So sandbox is sort of the big thing about Snow. A lot of the other SXX, like you mentioned, those were more sort of confined onto courses. This seems to be based around like whole mountains ranges. Can you talk a little bit more about the multiplayer aspect? How does that actually play in? How do players sort of congregate together and explore the world of Snow?
Right, so right now we're still exploring exactly what we're going to do with multiplayer, but right now what you can do is connect with other people through matchmaking. Soon we'll add server browsers as well, and then you can roam around the mountain and explore the huge mountain that we've developed. Then we'll also be adding some types of events, so they'll be able to race your friends and challenge them in different ways.
Will there be any sort of like social hangout areas, like players outside, like let's say, you just got done doing some cool slopes, you want to chill by like a fireplace in some kind of like cabin. Is there going to be any aspects where players can sort of inspect each other's gear, their boards and what have you?
Right now there's no plan for it, but in the future maybe if there's enough demand for it. I mean, one of the reasons we launched on Early Access was so that we could work with the community, and that's always been part of our plan and is a really important part for us. So if the community demands something like that, once we've got past all the major features we want to implement, we're always happy to talk to them about it.
You talked about doing events, like competitions, I would assume. Are you looking to kind of gear it towards the other snowboarding options that have been available in terms of like making it more about the points or the competition? Or is it more towards just exploratory snowboarding and kind of just having fun with friends out in the open world?
We're still very focused on the competitive aspects. So we've partnered with some of our partners like Red Bull, the USSA, the United States Skiing and Snowboard Association. We're tapping into their events that they have in real world and rebuilding them in the game. So you'll be able to actually take part in real events. And then we'll also have fictional events on the mountain where you can race for time or for accuracy, for tricks, all the different types that you have in the real world, and then some things that we can do in the game which are maybe not possible in the real world.
To start with, you guys have this mountain that you guys can explore and what have you. Are there going to be multiple mountains, multiple tracks? How are you sort of building this out? Will there also be like confined courses where players can have like half pipes made out of snow and such?
Yeah, so right now we're really focused on this one mountain. It's huge, it's 8 kilometers plus about 3,000 meters vertical distance. So it's a lot to explore and for us to develop. So we're focused on that. At the same time, when we do events with our partners, sometimes it requires us to make a standalone level, which is a slightly more confined space. But we'll make sure that always the open world level has all the features that you would want in it, so that it's always something to do there.
Now, how can players actually customize their avatar, their character in Snow? What are some of the options that players can expect?
Yeah, so we've partnered with over a dozen of the biggest brands in the industry to bring their catalog or large parts of their catalogs into the game in extremely high fidelity. So you can customize, your helmet, or choose a different helmet, hat, goggles, glasses, masks, jackets, hoodies, boots, bindings, skis, poles, pants, everything really.
I think I even saw in the early access like a top hat, like gentleman kind of setup as well.
Yeah, our logo is a man wearing a top hat and tails, so we created that in the game as well.
It's pretty awesome. I really want to ask, we've seen like a male character being used in all the gameplay videos and the gameplay. Will there be options for female characters as well?
Down the road, definitely. It's technically a lot more work to do, but we definitely want to represent the female community, and we will definitely be looking to do that in the near future.
So where do you see Snow headed in the next, say, 6 to 8 months? Do you guys have a closed beta or open beta plan coming up?
On the PC, we will be having a closed beta before the end of the year, and then we also announced earlier this week that we'll be launching on PS4 next year as well.
Great. Well, it's great to see Snow in the condition it is. Looking forward to seeing the new developments coming in the near future. And until next time, we really appreciate it. Thanks for coming on with us.
Thank you.